From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spar on the radio.
Hello to Eliza May. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Can you tell me how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
So I've been singing since pretty much I was born. At the age of 3, I started singing, but professionally, like giving it a proper go, I started out when I was about 17.
So can you tell me, what was it like going to the recording studio for the first time?
Oh, it was amazing. I was really fortunate because the first time I stepped into a recording studio was actually at my university. And then for the next 3 years, I got to experiment and play about in the studio, which was so much fun.
So what was it like going in there? Was it daunting for you or?
No, I think I was just really interested in everything. I just wanted to like get stuck in and figure out how everything worked. Because I didn't know too much about how everything worked when I first got there, but by the end of my degree, I really enjoyed it all, and I felt like I knew what I was doing at least a little bit.
So can you tell me more about your debut single that you released called The Fall?
Oh yeah, so The Fall was released back in 2018, and originally I wasn't gonna put it out because I'd actually written it in 2 weeks and mixed and mastered it in 2 weeks with my producer friend Jamie Farnell. That was part of a uni project. So I was really like personal. I was like, oh, no one's going to hear it, so I'll just like throw my heart and soul into it. And then I realized that by the end of it, a lot of people were like, oh no, you should really release it. So I released it, and I was really proud of it. And it did really well for the song that it is. It's such a long song, so I was really surprised and like overwhelmed with the amount of people that gave it so much support.
So what about Knots and Crosses?
Oh, I love that one as well. That one, I wrote that one quite a while ago. It was part of like my first EP in the end. And it's all about kind of proving people wrong. And like if someone says that you can't do something and you really think you can, you should go ahead and give it a go anyway. Don't let anyone stop you. That's the whole like message of that one.
So can you tell me more about your debut EP that released?
Yeah, so my debut EP was The Fall, and I released that back in 2019. It's a 4-track EP, and it kind of goes through all of the different emotions I was feeling as I was like graduating out of uni. So one song on there is called I Plead, and it's all about like the struggle between your heart and head and feeling really anxious about things and trying to figure out how to just go with the flow through that kind of situation. But yeah, I was really proud of that EP. I've actually sold out of all of the physical copies of that now, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me that people would want to buy my stuff, especially my early stuff as well. I feel like I've come on so much since then. But yeah, I'm really proud of that one and how far it's come.
So can you tell me more about the single that you released in 2022 called Edge of This?
Yeah, so Edge of This is all about when you have that ex that kind of clings on to you when you've moved on and you're like, no, please leave me alone. I've moved on. I've done to better things. And they come like crawling back. And it's all about like standing up for yourself and just kind of saying, I've moved on. I'm on to better things. You can't have what you want now.
So can you tell me more about Candy Heart?
Yeah, so Candy Heart is also the title track of my EP. That song is like a sugar sweet, like love song. It's kind of like about the beginning of a relationship and trying to figure out how to let down your walls when you're in a healthy relationship compared to like the more toxic ones from the past. And I had a lot of fun writing that one. It was the first kind of happy love song that I'd written because I hadn't really written many happy love songs until that point.
So as you nearly into gigging this season, so has there been any gigs that you stand out at this year so far?
So this year, there was a one gig in particular that really stood out to me. I was really lucky. I got the chance to support Reverend and the Makers earlier this year in Bristol, and it was our first Bristol gig. And Reverend and the Makers took a chance on myself and my drummer Jack, and we performed an acoustic set at a place called Dare Shack in Bristol. And it was one of the most amazing gigs. I just felt like I really connected with the Bristol audience, and they made me feel so welcome. And it was the first time we trialed out a new setup where it was myself on vocals and guitar, and then Jack had an electronic drum pad thing called an SBD, and it had loads of cool sounds that really complemented my acoustic sounding like setup, and that was just so much fun to play with that live.
So, are you writing any new music?
Yes, so I've been writing quite a bit, and my band and I are actually currently in the process of like recording the next EP. So that'll be I can't decide whether it's going to be 4 tracks or 5 tracks yet, but it should be a much more upbeat kind of indie pop sounding EP, with big influences from like Paramore, Olivia Dean, Tori Kelly. So the same kind of artists that have inspired me the whole time, but with more of a hard hitting feel, which should be really, really exciting.
So, can you tell me what band members you've got in your bands that you got?
Yeah, so at the moment I have Sophie Snelling on lead guitar. She has been my lead guitarist since I was at university. I'm so lucky to be playing with her still, because she actually lives in Cornwall and she comes up for gigs. So we're very honoured to have her in the band. She's absolutely incredible. And then I also have Ben on bass. He is like the coolest bass player ever. He plays a 5-string bass instead of a 4-string bass. And he's often the person telling me what key my own songs are in, because I can't figure it out when I'm writing. I just put like a capo on half the time. So he's really, really lovely, and he's so knowledgeable. And then I have Jack Enzel on drums. He also goes by Cheese, and he is like a human metronome. He brings the groove to every single track. He's super lovely to work with, and I think he's the most solid drummer I've ever met. Like, he's been in my band for the last 4 years now, and yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. And then I've had quite a few keys players in my band. My last keys player was called Jared Tyson. He like helped write half of the keys parts for the new EP, but he recently had to leave the band because he got a job abroad. So I currently have been like trialing a new keys player called Toby, and he's really, really lovely. He's so talented. So yeah, I just feel really, really lucky to be playing with such amazing musicians.
Well, I know you're doing a open mic in Northampton, but this week. But can you tell me, you got a gig coming up on the Saturday, the 18th of November? So yeah, that you're sporting. So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I'm supporting the lovely Joe Hicks at the Sunflower Lounge on Saturday, the 18th of November. I think there are still some tickets online. If you head over to like my social media, the link in my bio, there's always like a ticket link there. So if you would like to come along, the tickets aren't too expensive. But that is an acoustic set from myself, and Joe will be playing with like a full band. So it's a really, really lovely gig setup. But myself and Cheese will be playing the kind of setup that we had for Reverend and the Makers. So we really want to bring that special setup to Birmingham, because we haven't played it in our hometown yet. So that should be really, really exciting. I'm absolutely buzzing for that one.
So finally, you're an independent artist. So how's that for you?
I absolutely love it. I think there's pros and cons to it. And I think every artist, no matter what size they're at or whether they're independent or signed, they're going to have like a struggle on their journey. It's never easy sailing as an artist in general. But I absolutely love the fact that any idea that comes to my mind, I can just like give it a go, try it with my band. And I feel like I'm learning so much as I go along, and I've learned so much and had so many amazing opportunities as well. I think my younger self would be really proud of me for how far I've come. So yeah, there's pros and cons, but yeah, I think overall I really enjoy being an independent artist, because I have a lot of control over my music and my sound, and I just get to do what I want to do musically, which is the dream.
And finally, can you tell my listeners, where can I find you on social media?
So you can find me at Eliza May Official on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find me at Eliza May Music on Twitter, and you can find me at Eliza May Official _ on TikTok, because they wouldn't let me have Eliza May Official. Someone else took that, so I had to add the underscore.
Thank you for letting me chat to you today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And I wish you all the success.
Oh, thank you.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Goodbye.